Hello and welcome to the DMV Roundtable. I am your host, Jose Barreto, and today sitting with me is Jenny Canales of the DelAria Team. How are you, Jenny?
Good. How are you, Jose?
Good. We haven't done one of these in a while.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's been too long. We're gonna get back into it. Obviously the holidays. I spent them eating, seeing family.
Yeah, that's nice.
So we'll get back into it now, especially now that things are changing a little bit and we're getting ready for spring. We'll do these more often.
I think so, because we can talk about our local market, right? Because we hear the news, everything is bad news, everything is, changing, interest rate is high, prices are dropping. So I think if we do this a little bit more often to give accurate information on what's happening now in our market.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the time people are focused on the national stage, and as we know, the DMV is different, right?
Completely different.
Yeah, completely different. Yeah. So the market here is different. So let's just focus on today's episode. Let's focus on inventory.
Okay.
Talk to the people about the state of the market as a whole.
Yeah.
What are you seeing?
What we're seeing in our market here, we work in Prince William County, Loudoun County, Fairfax County, right?
Of course.
All the way down to Stafford.
Right.
We're still seeing low inventory. We don't have enough properties for the buyers. It seems to me that for every property that we list, we get up an average of 30 showings.
Yeah.
And we get about 3 offers still. Mm-hmm. Like we had one in Woodbridge that we listed. Within the first weekend, we had 4 offers. And we had 46 showings.
46 showing. That's for
that one house.
It's always going to be that way when you have low inventory. I don't care what the rates are doing. We did see a slowdown during the holidays because number one, it was the holidays, right? And always during the holidays it drops down. But number two, the rates had gone up significantly, right?
Yeah.
It was a way of trying to cool down what was happening in the real estate market, and fine, and also the fact that inflation was so high. And
right, they were trying to control all that.
Trying to control all of that brought the interest rates for mortgages high. The combination of that with the fact that it was the winter and the slow months really brought transactions down significantly. But that doesn't mean that it became all of a sudden a buyer's market, because really when there's no inventory, it's a seller's market.
It's a seller's market.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, and I think it varies in different states, right? Like Maryland, it's a little bit different.
Right.
Houses sit a little bit longer. But I think that right now, I think there's a ton of buyers coming into the market now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of leases that are going to expire in the next 30 days, or people that are looking to move in the summer are starting to look now.
Right.
So imagine for that house that we had in Woodbridge, we had 46 people looking at it. Wow. That means that was 46 buyers, right?
There's 46 buyers out there, and there's not a lot of inventory.
And there's not a lot of inventory.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to see a lot more buyers coming to the market, and a lot of these buyers did not purchase last year.
Right.
So they stopped looking. They
couldn't
because they couldn't find that, they couldn't win an offer, right? Back then.
Of course.
Then the interest rates took a hike. They're like, no, it's too expensive. We can't afford it anymore. So they waited. So now I think they're coming down to like, okay, I think I'm ready now to start looking.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're a seller, this is a great market to
put
your house in the market.
It is a great market. But also it's sort of imbalance right now, right? Because the rates have also settled a little bit, and now we're seeing rates in the 5s, right?
Yeah, 5.5.
Low 6. Yeah. Some people in the low 6. I actually just one of my clients got a pre-approval today at 5.99. That's a really good rate, right? So now that rates have been stable, buyers have the confidence of going, okay, now we can go ahead and buy, even though the prices are still high.
You're right.
It's still right now with interest having settled is a good time to buy.
Right. I had a buyer that closed in January that she locked it in at 5.79.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of creative ways also that we can work together with sellers and other agents and buyers to try to buy down a point or two.
Right. There are tools out there that help.
1 point. So all of that, I think, we just need to get creative.
Right.
We need to have discussions about, okay, a seller needs to sell, a buyer wants to buy, let's bring him to the table and see how we can work a deal that works for everybody.
Exactly. And that's why, talking to somebody like you who has so much experience and being able to sort of create an environment that is a win for your buyers is important. Buy down is a tool that's really important right now that could be used to bring down the rate, make sure that you qualify for for that home that you're looking for.
Right.
So anyway, there's a lot of ways to get people into that home. But anyway, talk to me about individual markets. I think you wanted to talk about a couple of specific markets.
So I pulled up some reports for Fairfax County and Prince William County, right? So I wanted to see what kind of inventory we had last February,
right,
and what we have now.
So what did you find
in Fairfax, right? So currently we have 550 units for sale right now
in Fairfax. Okay.
Now last February we had 865.
Okay, so there was even more inventory.
There was even more inventory last year.
Right.
So now it's like, I mean, sellers.
It's tight.
I'm telling you, it's super tight.
It's tight.
Like I said, for every home that goes on, we're gonna have at least 30 showings, and probably out of those 30, maybe 3 to 5 people are gonna think about writing an offer on those houses.
That's interesting. We got to keep an eye on that as we approach the spring months.
That was and it will be interesting to see what March looks like, what it looked like last year, and what it's gonna look like now.
Exactly.
Right?
So we'll prepare. That way, we're prepared for our clients. We'll prepare to see what happened last year and how that's gonna look, how it's gonna be different this year from last year, and how we can prepare for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in Prince William, the current inventory right now is 235.
Okay.
Last year was 307.
Right.
Prince William, it's affordable. So people that wanted to buy like in Springfield are starting to look towards south that way because it's a little bit more affordable. You get a lot more for your money.
And you can be further now with people being able to work from home and stuff
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right. And you get a little bit more space.
Right.
Who doesn't want that?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, it's going to be pretty interesting to look at these reports as we move along into the spring market. Because I think I've talked to a lot of sellers also at the end of last year that were just waiting for the spring market.
Right.
Because everything was so uncertain. They're like, we don't know if we're going to get the price that we want.
Yeah, I don't think they need to wait, right?
But that's what I'm saying, that the sellers need to get, if you have to move, if you know you're going to sell, this is the time to sell.
Right.
This is the time to sell.
Yeah.
Even if you have to move into a place to rent it for 6 months until you figure out where you're going next, because a lot of sellers are moving out of state. They're getting job transfer. Other ones are retiring. They're just ready to go. They want to just get rid of the house.
Right.
So I think that, but one thing that I will say though, that sellers need to keep in mind is that buyers right now are looking for move-in ready properties.
Move-in ready properties, yeah. You can't just throw a property just in any condition and just expect to move it at top dollar anymore.
No. Buyers are looking for properties that look fresh, smell fresh, that are manicured really nice on the outside as much as you can. I know it's winter, but you can still do mulch, right? To make it look nice. So preparing your home to go on the market is important.
Super
and that's why you have to sit down with an agent like us, or anybody that just make sure that you guys have a plan, right?
It has to be an experienced agent, right?
Right.
Because creating a plan, not just for preparing the property and how it's going to look, but also having the correct pricing strategy in place, a good, strong marketing. Because at the end of the day, you also want to maximize it. Yeah, putting the house on the market is not going to maximize your dollar just by putting it on the market. Having the right plan
strategy
is important.
It's a strategy. You got to get your home ready from the beginning. You have to get it ready, have a strategic plan to pre-market it, listing it correctly. Because I think that we are now, I think, past that hump of like sellers wanting to get the same prices as we were during COVID time.
Right.
So I think now sellers are more realistic with what the market will bear right now in their pricing and their asking price.
That's right.
So I think that sellers are sticking sort of, where they want as far as price, which is, but I mean, now when you look at comps, if you look in the last, I usually go like 6 months, but I also look at like what's happening now in the last 30 days, what has gone on the market, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do a little bit more research to be able to come up with that price.
Yeah, and you have to weigh it that way because, what's happening now, it depends on when you are. And right now we're in February, so a lot of that 6-month data that you're going to look at is going to include November and December and those months that were like super, super slow. So yeah, you have to look at the data 6 months behind, but you also have to see where you are and how that data is affecting your current numbers.
Right.
So yeah, all of that, all of that work that you do for the sellers is super, super important.
Yeah,
and
it is.
So on the seller side and then on the buyer side, looking at their loan and how you can get the best rate. And like I said, looking at options like buying down and things of that nature.
Increasing your credit score. I've seen, we work with local lenders and we're able to sit down. I like to sit down with buyers that are looking to buy, they're like, well, I'm not ready. I'm not sure how my credit is. Look at your credit. See if you
Right.
can increase, because the interest rate will depend on your credit score.
Right.
It does make a difference.
Yeah.
So, it could be like paying down a credit card to be able to increase your credit by 20 points.
By 20 points, yeah.
And that could take only 30 days.
Yeah, and then
So,
it will make a huge difference
huge
in
difference.
your
And
the rate that you get, the payment that you
Exactly.
get, and over time, that's thousands and thousands of dollars in savings for
absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that goes back to, buyers getting ready to, just same as sellers, right? Sellers
Yeah.
have to get ready to put their house on the market. The buyers also need to get ready to get themselves pre-qualified and see what they need to do to fix anything they need to do on their credit to increase their credit score.
Right.
To be able to get a better rate.
Right.
Be able to buy,
For
and
sure.
not have any issues at the end. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for spring market,
Yeah,
honestly.
the spring market is going to be
I mean-
busy. I think, we're going to try and do these as often as possible. Obviously, we're going to be very busy, but, we really want to get the word out to people and what they can do. We're going to talk to our lenders so that we can give current information on where interest rates
Right.
are, what kind of programs are working for people, continue to update people on the inventory and the state of the market, I think.
Locally,
Locally,
because our markets
that's the
are
key
here.
word. Right. This is the key word. Is locally.
It has to
DMV.
be.
What's happening in the
Yeah.
DMV, not
Yeah.
nationally, not what people are seeing on the news, on the national news.
national
because
news.
they're getting national.
Right.
That's fine. But people, markets like California and Arizona, and these markets are skewing the numbers,
Yeah,
right?
they are. Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that what's happening nationally is happening here. What's happening here is completely different, and we'll continue to bring people up to date and do these more often.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me.
Thank you for coming on, and again, we'll do another one really soon, and,
Yeah.
and we'll stay in front of people. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, Jenny. This is Jenny from the DelAria team. At the bottom, you'll have all of her contact information.
Yes.
If you need to talk to her about selling or buying,
Yep.
she's the one. You got to give her a call.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
All right,
Thank you for
Jose.
showing.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.